Hi there, hello to everyone. This is Cooking from Canet, and this is part 2 of the Halloween special that we are doing this year. So yes, if you've watched part 1, you'll know that, well, today it's Saturday, 31st of October, and it's around 11 a.m. And Rosa, my next door neighbor, that lovely lady who came on the first episode of Who is Cooking from Canet, invited me to go over to her house to make panellets. Remember, that was the round shape sweet desserts that we eat here on All Saints' Eve. So yeah, she's waiting for me there. But before I go, I like to share with you a little bit the research I did on this festival in other places here in Spain. Because I was telling you that in Catalonia we call it La Castañada. It comes from the word castaña, that it's chestnut. And yeah, I was explaining a little bit the tradition that we mainly gather the 31st in the evening night to eat those panellets, those sweets, and to roast chestnuts and sweet potatoes, and to remember the people who have passed away and all this. So this was here in Catalonia. So I've done some research about the rest of Spain, and I've asked some people, and yeah, so this family gathering is more like a Catalan thing, and in the Balearic Islands as well, and Valencia maybe. But the rest of Spain, for example, my mom, she's from Andalusia, in the south, and they never did that. So she remembers stalls on the street, like roasting chestnuts as well, but not so much a family gathering and a meal and things like that. So yeah, so I found that in the rest of Spain, we all have in common the chestnuts. So you're going to find people roasting chestnuts like on the streets, not so much as they used to in the past, not so much now, but yeah, so the chestnuts. And also obviously, because it's All Saints' Eve, and the 1st of November it's All Saints' Day, what we have all in common is that people go to the graveyard on that day, the 1st of November, and they bring flowers to their relatives who passed away, and they would, for example, also clean and tidy up the gravestone. So yeah, these are all the things that we have in common. But then in other places, for example, Galicia, they do more outdoorsy things, like people would gather in the villages outside more than in the houses, and they would make like bonfires, and they would roast the chestnuts, but all in a big group of people. And so let me also tell you another interesting fact that I found out about Galicia, and I wanted to share this with you because I thought you were going to like it. It's very interesting. So what they do, apart from this outdoorsy thing of roasting chestnuts on the street with people and that, they celebrate what they call the Samain, and this started 30 years ago. But let me tell you the story of this. So Samain is a Celtic word that means end of summer, and it is a tradition, it's a Celtic tradition. This is where Halloween comes from. So the Celts, at this time of year, for them, was the beginning of the new year. So for them, in their calendar, there were two parts in the year, the dark season and the light season. And the dark season started the 31st of October or around that time. And they believed that that night, the ghosts or the souls of the people who passed away, they were wandering here. So they would leave, for example, food on the table for those who were coming back, those souls who were coming back, or they would, because obviously souls can be good or bad, yeah, not all your relatives. Well, relatives can also be good or bad. But for those evil ones, they would dress up, just joking, they would dress up as monsters or animals to scare them. So this comes from the Celts. This is the Halloween nowadays, but this comes from the Celts. So I'm sure you've heard that before. And so yeah, they would do things like this, and yeah. So this school teacher in Galicia, like 30 years ago, he saw that in some villages in Galicia, they were doing some of these rites, but not because of Halloween, but because of this Celtic tradition. Because I don't know if you know, or if you're aware that, maybe you'll know that, in the peninsula here, what is nowadays Spain and Portugal, this was occupied by the Celts. The same as England in that time, and Scotland and Ireland and France. So what happened was that after the Celts came the Romans came, and they Christianized the peninsula, Spain, what is now Spain, and all the pagan festivals that belonged to the Celts, they were substituted by Christian traditions. This is the All Saints' Eve and all that. So, but in some parts of the peninsula of Spain, the Celtic tradition, there were remains of that Celtic tradition, and one of those places was Galicia. And it is so interesting. So these people in Galicia, they were celebrating their kind of Halloween, but not because of Halloween, but because of the Celtic tradition. And I thought it's amazing. So this school teacher, he set up like an organization, or he worked with an organization, and they started promoting this tradition. And yes, they are doing it up until now, and they do the pumpkin carving with the kids, and this comes from the Celts as well, because originally the Celts, what they were doing is, with the skulls of the enemies, they would put a candle inside, and this is where, and then it evolved somehow, and then they substitute the skulls for turnips, I think it was, and then pumpkins, and then it changed, yeah. But the origins are there, and yeah. So I thought that was very, very interesting, and also, well, and you know that then what happened in the 19th century, the Irish, many Irish went to America, and then is when they brought the tradition with them, the Celtic tradition. So it became Halloween, and then the Americans spread it all over the world, and now everyone knows Halloween. And even here in Spain, I mean, if you go to the supermarket, you can see, you know, we've got not so much as in England, but here in Spain we have in the supermarket like chocolate pumpkins, and, you know, sweets for the kids, and yeah, all these things. So we celebrate Halloween here as well in Spain. I mean, it's known, and there are some parties going on in the evening, and some people dress up, not as much as in England, but yeah, because you have to remember that here in Spain, kids learn English at school. So, and we have plenty of language schools, and everybody wants to learn English. So this is part of the culture, and so everybody knows Halloween, and yeah. But there is a bit of a fight, for example, here in Catalonia, and I guess everywhere in Spain, like, what should we celebrate, Halloween or La Castañada? And I think, my opinion, I mean, both things, why not, you know? It is important that we know about other cultures as well, and as long as our culture preserves, you know, there is no harm in knowing other things and being part of them. And I think everything is like this great, no? So the more things, the more traditions, the more we learn about, and it's so interesting, because then you see the coincidences, where the things come from, and it's beautiful. Right, so I better go, because Rosa is waiting for me. She just lives here, literally next door, so it's going to be fine. I'm so excited to make this panellets. And you'll see her house is lovely. It's an old town house. Oh, and by the way, before I go there, I wanted to tell you this because this is a legend that comes from Galicia. So they believe in this apparently. So they say that there is something called the Holy Company, and apparently it's a group of souls that wander the earth at night, and they go from one town to another town, from one village to another village, and they are visiting those houses where there is someone who is about to die. So this happens all year round, but it is that night, the 31st of October, when it is more likely to see them, although not everyone can see them. And yeah, apparently they wear gowns and hoods, and they are barefooted, and they carry a candle with them. And yeah, and this parade is led by a living person that no one knows who she or he is. And yeah, that person carries a cross. So what happens is that that person is like a prisoner of them. So he goes out with them every night, or she goes out with them every night. But during the day, they wouldn't remember anything that happened over the night. And slowly, they become paler and paler, and they get ill. And it is then when people start being suspicious of that they might be the leaders of the Holy Company. And so the only way they can save themselves before dying is over the night, when they are on the parade and they are walking, when they see somebody, they can pass them the cross, and then they pass the curse, let's say, to another person. So be aware that night. Well, I'll give you some tips, they say, that can protect you from that. So one of them is drawing a circle on the floor with a white chalk, and get on the circle, or then you are safe. Also, they say that you can lay down, face down on the floor, and then nothing will happen to you. And yeah, so, or run, just run, yeah, just run. And don't listen to what they sing, because apparently they sing like funeral songs and that. But yeah, not everyone can see them. They say that some babies, when they are baptized, if the priest by mistake uses the oil of the deceased, of the dead people, that baby, when he grows up, he'll have like the power or ability or capacity of seeing them. So there you go, there's the Holy Company. I'm not going out tonight, so I'm staying at home. And yeah, that was it. So let's go and see Rosa. Let's make some panellets. Here we are. Quick, eh? There she is.
Good morning.
Good morning. Hello.
Hello, you. Yeah.
Wow, so here we are. Nice to see you, Rosa. Let's make some panellets. Famous panellets.
Yes.
Come on then, let's go in. So here we are, finally, in Rosa's living room. You can see, lovely house. We'll go to the kitchen in a minute to make all the goodies that we want to make for tonight. And yeah, Rosa, so first of all, thank you. Thank you very much for having us today.
De nada.
You're welcome. And yes, so first I have to say, it's very hot in here. Fa molta calor, no?
Sí, mucha calor.
Yes, very hot. Look at her. I'm going to take this off because what's the temperature? ¿Qué temperatura
22 o així,
Yeah, 22 degrees.
Sí.
22 degrees.
Sí.
This is crazy for this time of year. And Rosa, do you remember, like years ago, what was the weather like? Quin temps feia fa molts anys per aquest temps?
Ho dic en català o en castellà?
Doesn't matter. She doesn't know whether to talk in Catalan or Spanish, but it doesn't really matter.
Pues, quan jo era petita feia molt de fred, era el temps canviat, és ara que fa calor. Però jo me'n recordo quan era petita que anàvem a comprar castanyes per tenir les mans calentes, la bufanda, el gorro, i ara fa calor.
Yeah, so she's just saying that she remembers when she was little, that they used to wear obviously the coats and the scarf, and they would go and eat and buy chestnuts from the stalls on the street to have to warm their hands, and now it's so hot that it is unbelievable. And Rosa, do you nowadays we don't have so many stalls on the street, do we? Like no tenim puestos de castanyes al carrer, no?
Que no per l'epidèmia, però abans sí.
Yeah, abans
sí.
Havia... Okay, this year is a bit, obviously, because of the situation.
Sí, no, aquest any no.
Not this year, obviously, but last year...
Sí, n'hi havia.
Here in Canet?
Sí, a la Riera.
So...
Al carrer principal posaven uns bidons en foc.
Okay.
I ho feien per recollir diners per anar d'excursió a la canalla dels col·legis.
Oh, really? I didn't know that, because I've only been living here in Canet for a few months, so estic dient que porto aquí pocs mesos.
Ja t'entenc.
She understands a little bit.
Ja t'entenc.
But yeah, she's saying that last year, on the high street, let's say, of the town here in Canet, they had the stalls, and this is very, very interesting, because the stalls, the people at the stalls were children, eren nens, no?
Sí.
Yes.
I llavors els nens, amb el cistellet, posaven uns cucurutxos en 10 o 12 castanyes i els anaven a vendre pel carrers.
Yeah. So they were children. Well, this always, I mean, I used to do that at school as well as a kid, but I didn't know here in Canet about the same. And still, it's been going on until last year. So the kids on the street, they are on these stalls and they are roasting the chestnuts, obviously with help of adults and that. And then they would have a little basket and they would wrap them in newspaper.
Sí, un cucurutxo de paper.
De paper.
I posava les castanyes.
Yeah, with 12 chestnuts.
Sí, 10 o 12 castanyes.
I per quan les venien? Per €1?
No, sí.
2 euros?
Sí. I 3 euros. I aquest any poder 5, però no en van. Però vamos, cales cares.
I was asking her, so for how much were they selling them? And I said, for €1, and she says, no for €1, for 2 or 3 euros, because the kids were doing that to raise money for the end of the course and end of the year trip, let's say. So,
eren per la canalla, per anar de viatge de fi de curs o això.
Okay.
Sí,
so
sí.
This tradition, this is still on. Well, at least until last year, and yeah, okay.
I els moniatos també els feien allà les castanyes.
And also they would make, apart from chestnuts, sweet potato, because as I was saying earlier, with chestnuts, panellets. This is what we're going to do today. These little round-shaped desserts, and sweet potato. Because we don't eat sweet potato. Here in Spain, it's not very popular. El moniato no en mengem molt durant l'any, no?
No. A lo millor està recollit del camp aquest temps, perquè durant l'any no es veuen tant. I bueno, jo no en veig.
Yeah, so we were just saying that here in Spain, they are not very popular during the year. In Anglaterra, sí.
Ah, sí?
In England, yes. Yeah, you are more used to it. Yes. So,
bueno, potser també n'hi ha tot l'any, però a la botiga jo no en veig tot l'any. No sé.
Yeah. So, no, she's just saying that she doesn't even see them in the shops only this time of year. So, I would say that it's because it's not very popular here. We don't eat them perquè no es mengem aquí els moniatos durant l'any.
No, més aviat patates.
Yeah, potatoes.
Patates, sí.
Okay, so we are going to make
Panellets.
Panellets.
We're going to make moniatos and chestnuts. Castanyas, okay? Shall we go?
Yeah,
Come on, let's go then.
come on.
Come on. Right, so here we are. We're going to start with the chestnuts, roasting the chestnuts. And let me show you the special pan that we have over here. It's got some holes in it. Podem veure els forats de la paella amb mòbil. And you see the holes. And we are making them here in the fire. And Rosa has put the chestnuts in water, soaking in water for a couple of hours. And Rosa, why have you put the chestnuts in water? Per què has posat les castanyes amb aigua?
Perquè se posin toves, perquè siguin més toves,
Okay.
blandites.
Yes, to soften them, because you know chestnuts are very hard, so they'll cook better there. And do we know how much will it take to cook them? Quan trigarem a
No
coure-les?
sé, no tinc ni idea.
Okay, we'll see, we'll
No
see.
ho sé, un rato.
Yeah, they're in the fire. We are monitoring them.
Bueno, mentre se fa això també podríem preparar l'altre.
Yes, now she's saying while the chestnuts are in the pan, we can start preparing the panellets.
Clar.
Clar.
No, dic jo.
Yes, so
Perquè,
let's...
clar, si això tarda mitja hora o 3/4, estarem aquí mirant la castanya.
To make the most of the time, that's it. Yeah, so let's make panellets. Okay, so I'm preparing what we need for the panellets, and Rosa is stirring the chestnuts. She's thrown a splash of water in the pan, and yeah, we reckon this is going to be quick because look at them, and we've just put them in there. So yeah, we got water, a bit more. Per què és l'aigua?
Per posar les toves.
Okay, the water is to soften them. So there we go. Okay, so here we are, and we have all the ingredients ready to make these panellets. Remember, panellets are round-shaped sweet desserts, and they are made of marzipan, so they are very easy to make, nothing complicated. Chestnuts over there. Let me show you quickly, just to pick how the chestnuts are doing. Yeah, so it's been since we started cooking them 25, 10, 15 minutes. So 15 minutes they are nearly there. Estan quasi fetes, no?
No,
Not yet.
Negres.
Not yet, not yet. Okay, so let me show you the ingredients for the panellets. Right, marzipan. Have a look at this. This is the base, and I made this yesterday at home because it's better to do it or make it the day before and leave it in the fridge. Now, how do we make this? The marzipan, we make it with ground almond over here, 500 grams of ground almond, half a kilo of sugar, 1 potato. Where is the potato? ¿Dónde está la patata ara? Oh, here it is. Rosa has prepared it here. 1 boiled potato. And what else? The yolk of an egg. Don't worry, because we're going to mix everything now, and you can see. Because this mixture that we're going to make today, we are leaving it for tomorrow. So tomorrow we'll make some more panellets, but we're not filming, just today. And that is all. That would be the base of the panellets. And then we have 5 different types. So we have almond panellets here, chopped almonds. We have pine nuts. I would say these are the favorite ones. Tu diries que els de pinyons són els preferits de la gent?
Sí. Són els més bons.
Yes.
I els més caros.
The best ones and the more expensive ones, the pine nuts. Okay, then we have coconuts. Where is the coconuts? Over here. Desiccated coconut. What else? Quince jelly and glazed cherries over there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 5 different types of panellets. But you see, now once you have the dough, they are very easy to make. It's just, you need just a bit of time, but they are easy to make. Right, let's get started. So let's make the marzipan first.
La
so,
patata?
Yeah, la
Ah, no,
patata,
no.
the potato, now the yolk of an egg. Super. And we are going to save the white for later. You'll see why. But yeah, to make the marzipan first, potato, yolk of an egg. Now you need the sugar.
Quant? Que deu bé aquí?
Half a kilo, exact.
Tot?
Yes.
Tot?
Yes. She's saying all, and I'm saying yes because it's half a kilo there. This is exactly the same as this I made yesterday. Okay, and now the almonds. Let's get the scissors. There we go. Okay, so here we are. We have changed the container. This is bigger and it's better. Right, and Rosa, what she's doing is kneading all the ingredients. It's a bit like making bread. Well, yeah, like this, and until it becomes something like this, the marzipan, a piece like this. And at the beginning, you think this is never going to happen. But yes, if you keep going and going and going, doing this, not for so long, don't think it's for so long, just a few minutes. And then in the end, eventually, you'll have a piece of marzipan. Right, nearly there, halfway through, have a peek and see how everything is mixing very well and coming together. You can see now Rosa is starting to get like big pieces all together. So we keep doing that, keep doing that until everything sticks together. That's the idea. Right, so we have kind of a big bowl now. You see now everything is together. And now what we're going to do is transfer it to the surface. Vale, lo posem aquí aquí. That's it. Transfer it to the surface. And now Rosa is going to shape it. It's going to, like a rectangle, like this. And that is all really. Then we have to wrap it in cling film, and we're going to put it in the fridge, and that'll be ready tomorrow to make more panellets. Yes, kind of perfect. Muy bien. Okay, we haven't forgotten the chestnuts. They are still here in the pan, as you can see, and the idea is that they become black, like burned outside but not inside, yeah? And then they'll be easier to peel them, and they'll be cooked inside. And yeah, the smell, it reminds me of my childhood. It's amazing. Excellent. So now Rosa is unwrapping the marzipan I made yesterday, and we are going to put it in that bowl over there, so that it's easier for us to make the panellets. And yeah, we'll show you how in a minute. Super, so we have started, and now it's a matter of making balls of marzipan. Very, very easy. So this is an activity that we would make with kids here. Because it's, as I say, it's very easy to make now. And this is what Rosa is doing. And we were discussing whether to, how many should we do, like how many pine nuts, how many of each of the types. But we agreed that pine nuts are the most popular. So I think we are going to use half of the marzipan for just pine nuts, and the rest for all the different types. And yeah, you see? Excellent. Super, so while Rosa is making the balls, she's asked me to transfer the pine nuts, which are on this plate here into a deeper one because it's going to be easier. Because now what we're going to do is with those balls, we are going to soak them in the white of an egg, because that is going to be like the glue, and then we are going to dip the ball with that in the pine nuts so that it gets all covered with pine nuts. So that's what we have to do. So she said, could you transfer the plate to a deeper one? So I went to the cupboard and I just picked this one randomly, and she went like, oh, this belonged to my nan, it must be like 100 years old. So I thought, it's amazing. Right, so we've just fried one of the chestnuts and they are done. They are nice, have a look. And yeah, it took 45 minutes, and now let's crack on with the panellets. Okay, so now Rosa has put another white of another egg in that plate. So there are two, so the whites of 2 eggs, and that is going to be like the glue, let's say, so that everything sticks. I mean, the pine nuts and the chopped almonds and whatever we put in the balls, on the balls, better said. Okay, so have a look how many panellets we've made. There you go. So with 1 kilo of marzipan, you can get 50 panellets, and we've just called the pasticceria, which is a cake shop, or the bakery here. And if you wanted to buy them from there, which are the good ones, because you can get them from the supermarket, but they are cheap and processed and they are not very nice, but proper ones from the bakery. So they just said 57 euros the kilo for the ones with pine nuts. If you want a mix of everything, that would be 47 per kilo, 47 euros. And if you want a mix of everything but no pine nuts at all, that's the cheapest option, and that's 37 euros the kilo. So they are very, very expensive now. So, but we've made them at home. Right, so Rosa is dipping the ball of the marzipan in the white of the egg, and now she is going to put the pine nuts on it. It's a little bit difficult for the pine nuts to get, to stick on the marzipan. So this, yes, you need a bit of patience, yeah, and lots of love. Slowly, slowly. So with the fingers also, yes, like this. And once they are ready, then you can put them on the tray, and slowly, slowly, we'll have a tray of panellets. So nearly there, we have a bit of sticky fingers. I've been helping Rosa, and now we've put them on the tray over there. And Rosa, she's got the yolk of an egg here, and she is painting them with the brush to give them a bit of nice color, golden, and now you just have to put them in the oven, and that's the quickest part, because they only take 5 or 6 minutes in the oven, maximum temperature around 200 to 20 degrees Celsius, and that is all. So nearly there, guys. So we've preheated the oven.
Sí?
And now we're going to put the tray in there.
Al horno.
Yes. 5-6 minutes, Rosa, no? 5-6 minutos?
Sí. Y queden doraditos.
Yeah, and we want them golden, and only on the top in the oven.
A dalt.
Yes, only the top.
I aquí les castanyes.
Well, she's got a basket. How cute. For the chestnuts. There we go. Super. Have a look at the table that Rosa has prepared for us. We've got the chestnuts in that cute basket, and also the sweet potatoes, massive, that she roasted last night. She'll tell us in a minute how she did it, but yeah, not rocket science. And also, well, we have these waiting for the panellets that are coming in a minute, and some Muscadine wine. This is a sweet wine that we have here in Catalonia. This is Catalan one for dessert. I have to say, in England, in Tesco's and Sainsbury's, you can have Muscadine wine, but it's called like from Valencia, and it is lighter than this one because it's a more refined wine, I found out. It's not exactly this type, but I'm sure in a wine shop you might be able to get that one. And the pumpkin, so happy Halloween, because here, as I was saying earlier, we also, some people celebrate Halloween. Right, I'm starving now and I'm looking forward to these panellets. Right, Rosa reckons they are ready now. Hey, here they are. Look at that.
Deixa'm-ho refredar una
yes,
mica.
we need to wait a little bit until they cool down because they are too hot at the moment. Okay, so when the pine nuts are cooling down, now we are making the glazed cherry ones. And so now what we have to do, these ones, you have to like make a hole in the middle and put the cherry in there, and that is all. Super, so nearly there, guys. So the cherry ones are over there, they are round. Now we are making the Quince jelly ones, and these ones, we've got one here, and they are more of a rectangular shape, and then the Quince jelly goes in the middle, like that. Excellent. Got the Quincy jelly ones done, and now we are making the coconut ones, and they need this shape like a volcano or a pyramid or something. So yeah, in the egg, and now in the coconut. Excellent. And that is it. Super, we've got two of them.
Yeah?
Yes, nearly there. So coconut ready, and now we are making the almond ones, and the almond ones need to have this shape of a cylinder, like this one here. This one, or this one that Rosa is making. And now a bit of the almond. Excellent. And these are easier than the pine nuts. Aquests són més fàcils que els de pinyons, no? Yeah, because the pine nuts are a bit tricky. I mean, to stick on the marzipan.
Bueno, si encara repassarem.
Super, first one done, and let's keep going. So we have all of them on the tray, ready to go in the oven, and the only thing we have to do is paint them. The almond ones with the yolk of an egg, the same as we've done with the pine nuts. Only pine nuts and the almond ones, we're doing that for the golden color. And yes, again, 5-6 minutes, keep monitoring them, only heat on the top, and we can have some panellets. There she is in the oven. Okay, Rosa, so...
Ja, finito!
Finito!
Ja, finito! Ara trinqui.
Now drinking. Now she's saying she's looking forward to the muscatel. There they are. We're going to put them on the trays there. These are the almond ones. Yes, and they took about 6 minutes in the oven. Just a tip, if you make them, before putting all the tray in there, just try with a couple of them to see how your oven works, because they are all different. And yeah, we're going to the table in a minute. Right, so here there's Rosa with all the panellets and the sweet potatoes and the chestnuts in the little basket, all ready. M'has posat una miqueta de moscatell, no? Here with some muscadine, and now I'm just going to grab a seat and have a chat before we go. Okay, so here we are all ready, muscadine, panellets, chestnuts, all that. I'm going to try one, and I'm going to go for this cherry one, for example. I'm just going to try one. A veure què tal.
A veure. És good? Very good.
It's nice.
Molt bé.
It's like a bit of muscadine wine.
Molt bé, molt bé. És típic Catalunya.
Right. So I was thinking, Rosa.
De nada?
Because no, not thank you.
Vale.
I was going to say. So now, because it's nearly lunchtime here now, but we have all ready for tonight. But I wanted to ask you. So, how do you remember, like when you were younger or years ago? How would you celebrate tonight? Com celebraves tu?
Quan jo era petita?
Sí.
Pues era molt en família també, encara eren vius els abuelos i tot el rotllo, i llavors era el temps de treure el blat de moro dels camps i fèiem unes piles molt grans.
Okay, so she's now remembering many years ago, so when she was a little girl, obviously with a family and that. And what would you do? Què feies?
El blat de moro espellofíem així i llavors els lligaven i tot voltant d'aquesta muntanya de blat de moro.
But was this in la castanyada?
Fèiem la castanyada, fèiem els moniacs, tot, fèiem igual.
In the same place?
Era, típic allà de fer-ho.
Al mateix lloc?
Al mateix lloc. Al mateix lloc fèiem la festa.
This is very interesting. So what she's saying is that, so with the family they would gather, but that time of year, or this time of year, it was time for the harvest. Era l'època de les collites,
També, sí.
So she remembers sitting down in a circle, yes, with all the corn, el blat de moro al mig.
Al mig, sí.
So all the corn in the middle.
Sí.
Like a pile.
Sí, yes. El blat de moro estava amb la paperina d'allò i llavors el feies així i el lligaven i llavors el penjaven i era això. I llavors tot voltant d'allà que feien la festa de les castanyes i tot això, cantàvem habaneres.
Okay, so she remembers sitting around the circle and threshing the corn. And in the same place they would celebrate la castanyada.
Okay.
And so, where would you roast the chestnuts and that? A on fèieu les castanyes? Allà mateix, a fora?
Al foc, un bidó d'aquells d'allò i allà feien les castanyes.
So outside the house as well, the chestnuts and that. And listen, do you remember, were there any spooky stories?
Sí, allà explicàvem moltes històries de por, feien venir por els més petits, i sempre deien que els muertos ressuscitaven, que s'aixecaven de les seves tumbes, perquè antigament els enterraven molt ràpid i resulta que molts encara eren mig vius. Anaven al cementiri i tothom corria de por.
So she remembers
stories
that the adults were telling to scare the children. They would tell them that the dead would come alive from the cemetery. They would stand up from their graves and she's saying that because at that time sometimes somebody would die, and they thought the person was dead, and they would take it to the cemetery and bury the person and everything. But obviously sometimes that person was not, dead. So they would stand up and come back to life. And so these were the kind of stories they were telling there in the circle. And so, right.
I cantàvem.
Oh.
Cantàvem també.
Yeah, they would sing habaneras, which are like sad stories, songs from the sea. Eren com, les habaneres són cançons tristes del mar, no?
Més aviat.
Yeah, so sad stories about the sea and that. And an interesting fact that Rosa was telling me earlier was that those songs, they used to sing them in Spanish, que les cantàveu en castellà.
Sí.
Because Catalan, we are in Catalonia.
El català ha vingut molt cap aquí.
Yes.
Tot abans era en castellà.
Yeah, because Catalan was forbidden with Franco here. So it was hard times, era difícil, no?
40 anys.
40 anys?
Que va viure en Franco, va ser molt retallat tot.
Yeah, for 40 years, so no Catalan, the culture was...
I també hi havia molts costums com el carnaval i tot això que tampoc ho deixava fer. No me'n recordo de les castanyades i tot això al carrer, les festes aquestes que les nenes ara van al col·le vestides de castanyeres i els nens. Abans això no es feia. Ha sigut morir aquest home i sortir tot el que aguantaven a dintre. Les cançons protestes, el català, tot.
So she's basically saying that so many festivals they were banned with Franco here, and that lasted like for 40 years. And also, I remember you saying, Rosa, també deies que els llibres que els teníeu amagats, no? Els llibres de català, they used to hide Catalan, books in Catalan, they had them hidden in the houses, no?
El meu avi era jutge del poble i tots els llibres que venien de França o no sé d'on venien, el català d'allò, que tenien amagats.
Yeah.
I llavors van entrar els nacionalistes i ho van rebentar tot.
So yeah, they had them hidden in the houses. So and would the Franco forces, would they come into the houses and search the houses? Venien els grisos i remenaven les cases?
Tot.
Yeah,
Ho robaven
so they were controlling the people like that.
Menjar, tot. Ho arrasaven tot.
Yeah, and they would take everything like food and yeah, it was a disaster.
Sí.
Yeah, hard times.
Però ara estem bé, ara mànic, eh?
Yeah, now we are okay. They're all the same.
A Anglaterra també sempre hi ha hagut els reis, no? La reina. Mira, també deuen tenir els seus problemes, jo què sé.
No, she reckons that. There in England you also have the royal family, so you might have your problems as well in England, so that's what she was saying. So yeah, there's always problems everywhere. Nothing is perfect, and...
Sí.
Pero bueno...
Lo que hi havia.
Yeah, that's what it was. Okay. Sí. Right, so thank you very much for having us.
De nada.
And yeah, let's have a toast.
Sí, con el tiene. Happy?
Happy, we have rehearsed that earlier, but happy Castañada.
Happy Castañada y happy
Halloween.
Muy bien.
Nice.
Muy bueno.